that dude. Bet I see you from the top, yeah, real soon. Looking down on the haters that I've been through. Told them I'll see you later, yeah, big truth. I keep a real good pace. Built a big house, damn, look at that place. Up in my mind, cause that's my space. House so big, full of positive things. And I can't be shook, cause I ain't no rook, man, I wrote the book.
Walt, I'll tell you what, man, that intro gets me excited every single time I hear it, even despite our loss against the Bears. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in first to the Monsters of Gridiron podcast. Got the family here. We got Walt here. Walt, how you feeling? I know you still hurting a little bit, man, but how do you feel?
Yeah, man, game-wise, I don't even know what to think anymore. I think I'm kind of a loss for words at this point. We'll hit on that earlier, but I just want to apologize. Last week I was not here, wasn't feeling well. Just a little after travel sickness kind of thing. But
yeah, no need to apologize, man. We're all human.
Yeah, but oh man, I think we gotta jump right in with the good, man. And I gotta say this, man. Props to Thomas Brown.
Oh yeah.
Because I was ragging on the coaching staff all night last night. I think I told you guys a little bit. I scheduled tweets from 5 o'clock yesterday to 10 a.m. this morning to go off every hour on the hour with the Chicago Bears Twitter page. But, I didn't give the man Thomas Brown the props he deserved. And, that guy did good yesterday. I just want to start off that saying that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to look at it. When you ask the guy, a week and a half ago, he didn't know he was going to be the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, right? So for him to come in and be in a situation kind of very similar to what he was in Carolina, but when you ask him to come in and take this rookie quarterback and put something around him so that he can be successful, it is clearly obvious that you can see that he had the ear of Caleb, because he told Caleb, if you don't have anything, run the ball. And Caleb ran the ball yesterday. He has over 70 yards yesterday, right? So it goes to show you that the offensive coordinator told him to relax, be comfortable, hit your check downs, if your receivers are they there, and he looked good. He didn't turn the ball over not one time, and that can't be said the same for his counterpart, because he turned the ball over in a critical red zone pick. So I mean, it goes to show you that, he didn't have any touchdowns, but he didn't have any interceptions either.
No, and you saw a big jump, especially on the stat line from the offense as a whole. The offense was bottom tier last week in terms of total yards per game. They actually ranked 9th in the entire NFL for Week 11 with 391 yards. Yeah. So that alone was a huge improvement. I think you saw Caleb be more comfortable in the pocket and just in the game as well. They kind of played to his ability. Yeah, what he can do, and then we know what he can do, and not try to force him to do things that he may not be able to do or not know how to do yet.
Yeah, I agree, and so he let the game come to him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he looked very, very fluid out of the pocket. But even though he got sacked 3 times, he still had some time to throw the ball, and he got the ball out a lot quicker. I noticed at least a second and at least a half a second or a second quicker. And that may not seem like a lot, but that's a lot in football. So so he hit his receivers. He missed on a couple, but that's okay. Everybody's human when it comes to that. But he when it was time for him to put the Bears in the scoring position, he was able to do that.
No, you're 100% correct. And what you were saying with him getting the ball out quicker, the Bears were second in the league in time to throw yesterday with 2.42 seconds. And Miami was the only one that beat them by 100th of a second or 200th of a second, I'm sorry.
Wow.
So in terms of getting the ball out quicker, you couldn't have done it any better yesterday.
Right.
I think they played, they had that in mindset when they were designing the game plan. I know Thomas Brown really didn't have a lot of time to implement what he wanted to, and I think we'll see a little bit more of that this coming week.
Yes.
Which, we'll save that for another day. But, definite improvement on the offense as a whole. And even on the offensive line for the most part, they were definitely a lot better up until that final drive when they gave it back-to-back sacks.
Yeah. I tell you what, but it was refreshing to see that he felt like he had confidence. Even when he got the first down, he was, he just felt confident with it. And it was good to see that he got all the receivers in, and got some action, including our tight end, which was great to see. Cole Kmet. He threw a dart to Cole Kmet, was probably one of the best passes of the day that he threw to Cole Kmet. And so I think as time goes on and as he keeps growing with this offensive coordinator, he's definitely going to get better because he's going to have to release the ball faster for this next game because we already know that Minnesota likes to blitz. But he will have more time with Caleb, the offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. So we'll see what happens. There might be a few other little tricks up his sleeve that we have. But I like also to see that Roschon got some more run this week as well.
Oh, definitely. Roshan Johnson has been, one of the unsung heroes of the Bears team, more so in short yardage than anything else. But we were able to see him today or yesterday, really use his running ability to where it's effective, and it's more likely fits the game plan a little better than what the Bears are going for with their early down rushing attack, where it's more straight up the middle through the A and B gap and all that, versus where Swift is more that guy you want to get on the outside, use his speed, use his elusiveness to get away. So it's just really two different styles of running backs, and personally, I feel Rojo fits a lot better. I love Swift. Don't get me wrong; he's definitely coming to his own, has his moments, but for the most part, he's still running into a lot of his own guys. His ability to see the field and see the holes where he can make his attempts, and kind of suspect.
I thought it was kind of funny how he almost had that false start play and he kind of froze. You remember that? And he tripped over his own feet. I was like, oh my God, this play was doomed from the start. But it was that was definitely a funny play.
I know they zoomed in on. He was just like, huh?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Plank and Duke Rufus, man? Good to see y'all into tuning in to us today, man. We definitely appreciate your support for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what you think, man?
I want to get on the offensive line a little bit. I liked what I saw for the most part. I thought, Darnell Wright definitely stepped it up a bit. The PFF grades don't tell the whole story. I know Braxton Jones definitely had a very good. I think he was the highest in the team in terms of his pass blocking ability. Somewhere in the 80s, I think maybe 87.
Mm-hmm.
He still has an issue where he's getting hit real quick when the speed rushers or even just the power coming in, and he's falling back real quick. We saw that on the very last drive, and it almost sunk us. It really did, but they came together. Ryan Bates, I don't know what to think about him anymore. I don't know how long his contract is, but I hope he's gone after this season. It's just another rendition of Lucas Patrick.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I will say this, the Chicago Bears will be on the hunt next year in the draft and in free agency for offensive linemen. And defensive linemen for that matter. We didn't have a pass rush really for nothing. Like I was really surprised that, he had as much time as he did. I was hoping that Montez Sweat would, be more of a disruptor, but he didn't do as much as that I thought he would.
Yeah. No, the defense as a whole, that's where we're going to start seeing the biggest regression so far of the year. And it always was our strong suit coming in, and it was, Eberflus's bread and butter, where I'm the defensive guy, I'm going to call all the plays. And for a while it worked. We had a very good defense, but yesterday, not so much. The front four was abysmal. I mean, yes, they had a 30% pressure rate, which put them somewhere middle of the league, but they had 6 pressures the entire game.
Yeah, that's uncalled for, man.
It's been dropping significantly. For the last 4 weeks now, we've gone from 18 to 10 to 8, now to 6. I can almost count them on one hand at this point.
Yeah, this is crazy, man, and this is like uncommon for the Bears, So next week this week we got Sam Darnold, who's definitely not really a mobile quarterback, quote unquote, and we have him in Chicago, and we need to look at considering blitzing him as well, because this is actually a winnable game for the Bears, just like it was for the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Swifty's in the house tonight and did let us know he has one more year for Ryan Bates on his contract.
Oh man, I wonder how much it would cost to just get rid of him. How much of a hit that would be.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I'll get that information for you, though. But, and I was very cautious on Jake Karan coming in to the game. He only played 60 snaps. at left guard his entire career, and that was at San Francisco for one game, and he had 2 sacks. And surprisingly, he was better than I thought. So thanks for showing me up yesterday, Jake Caron. You did a good job. So there were some definite surprises out there. Like I said, Caron was good. Pryor is a stopgap at best.
Yeah.
We saw him give up the gap on the field goal, which caused the end of the game. I think there's more to it than just that, but it's his job to stop those guys.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is. And we did play a little bit better, I have to admit. And it was good. It was refreshing to see that Caleb had time in the pocket to throw. And hopefully we can keep that up because we know Minnesota likes to blitz.
Yeah, and one thing that was really, really sad yesterday, and we've spoken it just a little bit before when we started talking about the defense, but just looking at the time to throw across the league, the Bears were 3rd worst in the league in terms of giving the quarterback time to throw. They were over almost 3.5 seconds. They're like 3.31 seconds yesterday.
Wow.
So
Unbelievable.
Josh Allen and Russell Wilson had more time to throw in their games. So it was nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy though because both teams it's funny you just mentioned those 2 quarterbacks because you said it was Josh Allen and it was who was the other one? Russell Wilson.
I'm sorry, I had it the other way around. It was the only 2 teams that were actually worse than us were the Bills and the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, and considering what the Steelers have on defense, that's kind of I don't know. I mean, I guess it all just plays out, but we need to get better.
Yeah, no,
there's no excuses with that.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with a team with the guys like Montez Sweat, Gravon Dexter, and even I'm not a huge fan of DeMarcus Walker, but he's there. You have Darrell Taylor, Jacob Martin.
Did Taylor even play yesterday? Because I didn't hear his name get called. Yeah,
he played a couple times. So I'll have to get the actual stats for you there. I don't have his snap count offhand, but yeah, he did play a few snaps. But then again, they only had 6 pressures, so they didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah. But the one thing that really got me was the fact that they had 1 sack yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
And to be honest with you, it was probably the weakest sack I've seen all year.
Yeah.
It was, it was the 4th quarter. There was about 12 minutes left. They chased Jordan Love out. He ran about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. DeMarcus Walker just kind of tapped him with his hand. He's running out of bounds, and they credited him with a sack.
Yeah. Hey, the end.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we definitely got to get better with that, man. That was definitely not the Bears' defense mantra. We're used to attacking the quarterback and getting after. But yeah, I know we kept flip-flopping from defense to offense, but going back to offense and the offensive coordinator, what would you grade him?
Well, I'd probably give him a B+ to A- at this moment. There's definitely some room for improvement, but he came in and he did what he had to do, and he turned this whole thing around. So
yeah,
I can't really fault him on a whole lot. Would I have liked to see the quarterback throw a touchdown or 2? Sure, but they got 2 touchdowns, and I really don't care how you get them at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. So we got all the folks that are watching in the chat. What would you grade our offensive coordinator passing and his offensive calls yesterday? How would you grade them? A, B, C, D, F? So what say you? Put us in the chat and let us know what you would grade our offensive coordinator yesterday. But I'll give him. I'm with you, Walter. I'll give him a B+ too, man. For him coming in and didn't really have much time to prepare, and he was able to do this, like I mentioned before, that speaks volume. Just imagine how much he's going to get, how much better he's going to get. So.
Yeah, Plank's got a solid B.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Plank. I definitely give him that B+. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's definitely room to improve. There wasn't much he could have done this week. He basically had to take what he was given and try to run with it. And, he did a really good job. And it was interesting watching him and watching them show him from the booth where he's sitting there, he's watching everything across the screen.
Very calm, huh?
Yeah, I really feel like your coordinators should be up top because you have a view of the entire field.
Yeah,
If you're on the sideline, you can't really make those calls, and you're going to miss things that you may not see if you don't have a bird's eye view. So it
yeah,
was glad to see him, and it was glad to see him. He had everything laid out. He was very methodically going over his chart. Watching everyone was going on and relaying it down to Caleb. So, and he was quick about it too, because I know Caleb made a comment during his press conference saying that, yeah, he got in my ear basically as soon as the play went off, and we were moving on to the next play, and it was hard to hear him, and he had to repeat it, but he was still there.
yeah,
Where it sounds like with Shane Waldron, maybe he was a little late on his calls for the most part. Because I know at
yeah.
one point they got up to the line, I looked at the play clock, and there was like 30 seconds left. I was like, wow, that's interesting. I'm
That's
not used to
refreshing,
seeing
huh?
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And like Plank says here, he says the plays were quick and rhythm. Offense was able to get into a rhythm, and they were, and we saw
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, I like it. I think he's only going to get better, and quite honestly, he's the Bears going to have to take a long look at considering him for a head coaching position, because if not, there's a lot of other people that he's auditioning for. Because you got to keep in mind he actually interviewed for a couple of head coaching positions last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, and I think where was he when he was with McVay? They made him an assistant head coach
yeah,
at
McVay.
one time.
Yeah,
So it's not like he hasn't been grooming himself for the role or being groomed for the role for years now.
yeah,
And I know the players voted him one of the top 5 offensive coordinators, at least in their eyes, going into the season. And I think we were lucky enough to get him on
yes,
our staff.
extremely lucky. And then and we may be able to have this guy as our head coach possibly. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't, sniff at him not being brought in to interview for the opening with Matt Eberflus, whenever that is.
Yeah,
The sooner the better, honestly. But I think that Matt Eberflus' time is done.
yeah,
Done.
yeah.
And,
Of course, of
we'll
course.
get to that in a few minutes. But
Well, don't worry about it. I already put a for sale sign in his yard, Walt. So don't worry about it.
good, we should all do that. Just get those little fake for sale and just keep dropping them in. He'll just throw them away, keep bringing them back. He'll get the picture eventually and leave
Yeah,
on his own accord. So. No, that's good. But man, now we got to get down to that fourth quarter, and that's more likely the fourth quarter, the final drive of the fourth quarter. So we'll
yeah,
start with the offense on that. Caleb Williams sacked in the first play, sacked in the second play. You're just kind of like, oh man, this is over. We're done.
yeah.
Pack it up, go home. 3rd and 19. You see the pass to Rome Odunze. You see, and he had to slip out of another sack right there.
Yeah.
So you're seeing something that we haven't seen with a Chicago Bears quarterback in a long time, if ever. There's that elusiveness and that ability to make something out of nothing.
Well, you saw that with Justin Fields last a couple times too. But the thing about it, Justin Fields would take the ball and just run with it. He wasn't looking to throw to anybody else, and he actually threw to our receivers and made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. There was one thing that my wife brought up to me that was very interesting is the catch with Keenan Allen. Why did the booth review that?
Well,
It looked like a straight catch to me.
Because they were bored and they needed something to do. That's the only thing that can come to mind, quite honestly, because that was you see, it didn't take long to say, okay, this was a catch. It didn't take long at all, because even Tom and his broadcasting partner was saying the same thing, like, this is a catch.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it gave our guys a few more seconds to breathe, but why are we wasting everyone's time here?
I know, right?
So I don't know. But,
yeah.
We had those 2 plays. We're in there. We make that one run play, and then we do what we did in the half, and got 50 seconds left. We got 1 timeout. We could basically have the whole world of opportunities. And we choose to let it run down. Okay, fine. You're in field goal range. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's blocked.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we could have ran that one more time, because someone would have probably bust for like 8 or 9 yards. You never know what would have happened. That would have given him more room. We can live off the if the entire time now, but quite honestly, I probably would have ran another play, because you had the timeout left in your back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't take a sack, and even if you did, you still have enough cushion to kick the football.
Yeah, but you could have ran the ball and just don't even worry about taking a sack.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is you run the ball 100%. Even if you wanted to pass the ball for whatever reason, it's not. It wasn't like there was you're at the 50-yard line, you take a sack, you're done. Either you throw it away, you run the ball, you have time to make a decision. And it just kind of hammers home the ability of your head coach to make decisions in the clutch.
Right.
I think we've seen time and time again now. Matt Eberflus fail in that department, and I don't know what more Ryan Poles needs to see, or anyone for that matter needs to see. But it was just bad. It was bad, and even regarding the field goal, I do want to bring up Kurt Warner here. And I'm actually kind of surprised to see not just him, but there was a couple characters out there actually sticking up for Matt Eberflus, which dumbfounds me to this day. But Kurt Warner goes, "What if Bears run another play and lose 2 yards?" Because everyone in the building knew they're running the ball. Because gaining is not a guarantee. Yes, all for trying, but they lost because kicker kicked low. Packers pushed to make block. And maybe they went over snapper and should have been a penalty. Quit piling on the coach, and they didn't execute when they needed to. I mean, I understand there's a character limit in X, Kurt, but you have a blue check mark. You can write a little better than that. But let's be honest with you. You're playing what ifs. Yeah. It's not a guarantee you lose 2 yards. It's not a guarantee you gain yards. The only guarantee you have in that situation is not knowing, because you're too scared to make the call. And we saw it in Flus yesterday. He said, "I don't want to." We could fumble the ball in that situation. So I know Get Up on ESPN this morning also had a couple stats for us, and it reads this. They said since 2020, Cairo Santos field goal percentage under 40 yards, he's 70 for 70. He's 100%. 45 plus, 76%. And the chance of fumbling the ball in the NFL this season?
2%.
0.46. Not even 1%.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you know what, even if Eberflus, we would have won this game, I don't think I think Eberflus knows that it doesn't matter if the Bears run the table. I think they're still going to let him go. Because you got rid of Lovey with a hell of a record. I think the Bears are still going to. I think they're kind of tired of him. Even if the Bears do run the tables, I think they're still tired of him.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I think the Bears could win every game imaginable, and the Bears still be like, "Bye, we're done."
Yeah, I can see that.
We're done. But we got a few people in the chat. We got a question from the doctor here, and it says, "Do the Bears win another game this year?" I think you led in that very well, Terry. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually think the Bears are probably going to win 4 or 5 more games. I think we're going to split with some people in our division, even though it will be real easy for the Bears to beat the Lions in Detroit and for Thanksgiving. I know it seems far-fetched after the amount of points they put up against Jacksonville, but that's the Jaguars. Everybody's putting those amount of points on the board for Jaguars. But I believe the Bears are actually going to win about 4 more games.
You think so? Wow. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to bet. I don't want to bet against the Bears. I'm a Bears fan, and they're always first. But at the same time, I don't see it. I think the Bears will be competitive, but the chances of them winning now are hard, really hard, because the easy games you should have won are gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
The closest one that may be to that level is Seattle, and they beat the 49ers yesterday with 12 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and the 49ers didn't look all that great either. And they're one of these teams that can never stay healthy. You gotta bar injury into a lot of these things that we're talking about. If one or two of those quarterbacks go down in the teams that we're playing, it's devastating. You know what I mean? So I don't wish injury on anyone, but let's say hypothetically Stafford or Darnold goes down, right? I mean Goff or Darnold goes down, then now you're looking like, okay, we may have a chance. I mean, injuries happen. That's a part of the game. I'm not wishing any injuries on anyone, but the Bears are still a good team. You know, we're going to start getting some of our players back as well. And if the Bears would have won these last 2 games, well, we still had this conversation. We'd have probably been like, yeah, the Bears going to beat everybody in the division. You know what I mean? So, you know, so it just goes any given Sunday. Quite honestly, I think anything can happen. You just look at it. No one predicted Seattle was going to beat San Francisco, and look what happened.
No, that's true. You can always have that, that one come from behind offshoot victory, and that's why I said the team will be competitive. But having a surefire win, I don't know. I mean, I know we split with Detroit last year. We should have beat them both.
Yeah.
But the way they're playing this year and the way our defense is just starting to fall off a cliff, I don't know. I don't know if they can win.
Yeah.
And it's not a talent thing. I think the roster is very talented.
Yeah.
That's not the thing. I just think they've lost that fighting spirit.
Well, if you beat Detroit here, that definitely helps you out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because then you beat Detroit and then you roll right back in. I mean, you beat Minnesota, then you roll right into Detroit. You win both of those games, you smooth sailing.
Yeah, I mean, if we end up beating Minnesota next week, and we end up beating Detroit, because it's Vikings Detroit in the next 2 games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we win those 2, then maybe there's a chance that we can kind of pull something back in. But that's a tall order, very tall order to ask of anyone. And now you're going to be asking that of your offensive coordinator, who did really good this year. This week he did really good, and praise him for that. But you're going to the Lions den the next 2, literally in 2 weeks.
You play to win the game. It's okay. Quite honestly, I know Detroit has a good team, but I really believe Chicago can beat Detroit. I mean, it's a divisional game because no one thought that Pittsburgh was going to beat Baltimore. These are divisional games. Buffalo beat, and I know it's not a division, but Buffalo beat Kansas City, and they haven't beaten Kansas City in quite some time. Anything can happen, man. I mean, like this, I believe this offensive coordinator that we have, he's lit a spark in the offense. Now somebody's just got a little fire under the defense, so that we can go ahead and play.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. And I was really hoping, to see the Bears part of ways with Matt Eberflus this morning. And I kind of knew it was a pipe dream, but I really, really wanted Matt Eberflus to come out and say, listen, I'm giving up the defensive call sheet. I'm handing over Eric Washington. It's kind of become a forgotten man on this coaching staff because of Matt Eberflus. I mean, is it pride? Is it I don't know what it is at this point. But the defense needs a shot in the arm, and I think that's the guy to do it.
Yeah, and quite honestly, one of the other things you talk about a shot in the arm, like our trenches, man. Like, I mean, for like our defensive line, they didn't even Tom Brady mentioned that. He said that he think we were like 1 or 2 players away, and one is in the trenches, like in that defensive line. We need that dog, man. I know we lost Billings for the year. And even with Billings, we still needed someone else. So I think if we could get another edge and another lineman, I think that'll help us out, because Zach Pickens, even though technically he hasn't been playing for a while, and now you ask him to come in, he hasn't been showing up as much as we would like for him to show up. He's going to have to step it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised to see Cowart get the lion's share of the snaps against alongside Gervin Dexter. But Pickens, when he has been able to at least pull off a pressure here or there. Depending on who you talk to, you got like 1 or 2 yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. The jury's still out on him. He had a very slow start to the year. He missed those couple of weeks.
Yeah. He missed a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's still guys like, Austin Booker we haven't seen a lot from. He's been kind of buried on the depth chart.
Yeah.
So I do want to see him. Hopefully, as the season goes on, depending on where we end up on the standings, we'll get to see a little more of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
The big question mark and not from the Packers game, but from the week before and the week before that, was the use of Dominique Robinson on the defensive line. Actually, having him start in place of Montez Sweat was really, really strange, considering you had DeMarcus Walker on the other side, and then you had a guy like Darrell Taylor, who's been doing fairly good. He kind of has gone a little flat since the first week of the season, but he's been productive. And to have a guy going cold,
yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man, we're definitely going to have to. These are all divisional games that we're all fully aware of. We're going to have to kick it in high gear. There's no other way in getting around it. We're going to have to kick it in high gear, and it starts with beating Minnesota in Chicago. We should have beaten Green Bay, and we should beat Minnesota, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they were calling at the end of that game, minus the field goal, they should just start that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple of times where instead of running the ball, I would have at least tried a pass play. And it's been even last night. You passed twice, and you went for the run, and then you went for the field goal. I would have gone one more pass play. See what happens.
Pass play? Nah, I would have ran that one. I would have ran that one. I would have ran it and see if you got 5 or 6 more yards. That would have been good. But passing that, I wouldn't have passed that at all. Any tip play, any little thing like that would just killed you. Yeah.
True.
And I like what MC Fact said about Chris Morgan. He definitely has to go.
I'm surprised he's still here, actually.
Yeah. Somebody must owe him money or something. That's how he's staying on the team.
Yeah, I think they'll all be gone, honestly. I mean, if anything, I feel like they might even keep both coordinators at this point, Brown and Washington. Maybe.
Well, it just depends on who's the coach, because if Brown is the coach, he may want to keep Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So
I get the incoming head coach, and I'm going to speak as it is happening. They would want to bring in their own guys, but you have 2 guys that are very good and have at least a rapport with the actual the guys on the roster right now. So if it fit, I say go for it. Keep them both. And if Thomas Brown does get the ability to interview for the job, I would put him at the top of my list at this moment.
So, question for you then, since we're talking about coaches, who would you like to see Chicago bring in as a head coach? And that's a question for anybody in here too, for everybody that's in the chat. Who would you like to see?
That's a good question, actually, because you have the usual suspects. A couple in-house options. You might look at some guys from even the college sector. I know some people talked about Plank says Ben Johnson. There were some rumblings of Lincoln Riley possibly coming in.
Yeah.
Who's it? Ryan Day from Ohio State. I know there's been talks about him making the jump to the NFL over the last couple years. So, and the Bears are still a young team. They're not old. And you have your quarterback in place right now. There's no doubt about that.
And your receivers and running backs, quite honestly.
Yeah. You have basically all of your offensive skill weapons in position. You're more than likely not going to see Keenan Allen back next year.
That's okay.
And I'm fine with that. I think Rome Odunze has more than made up for the loss of Keenan Allen. I think the only thing Keenan Allen does is suck up money at this point.
Yeah, he shows up sometimes. Like yesterday, he kind of helped Caleb out. But I think Keenan Allen would be more receptive to staying an extra year for a hometown discount.
You have to be.
No one else is going to pay him. No one's not going to pay him that money, man. He's 30 plus years old. He's not going to get that money. The Bears can get him a little friendly hometown discount, and if he wants to stay, hey, run it back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to at least knock maybe $17 million off that current contract.
Of course, it's going to take a. And if he doesn't want to go, then see you later.
Mm-hmm. You got him. I mean, I don't even know about guys, like Tevin Jenkins. I want him back, but will he get re-signed?
Only time will tell.
Yeah,
if he can stay healthy, man. But we're going to have to do a really good job of. I think you're going to see the Bears really hone in at the Senior Bowl and at the
Shrine, yeah.
yeah, because a lot of those guys are getting there. I had talked to Farmer for defense for the Florida State Seminoles. He's gotten his swag bag and everything, and so he's got asked to come to the Shrine Bowl. I mean to the Senior Bowl. So there's a couple other of the young athletes that I mentor. They've already expressed that they've been reached out to do the Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl. So it's good to see.
Yeah, you can see a lot of guys have already started to accept their invites to the Senior Bowl. I know Landon Jackson from Arkansas, the big defensive end, he's going. A lot of receivers and offensive linemen so far. There are a few names I want to see if they do or they don't go. I'd love to see Abdul Carter from Penn State go to the Senior Bowl. Like at least have a chance to get to see him down there.
Mm-hmm.
A few other guys. So, but we're still really early in that.
Yeah.
In terms of them putting that together. So, we'll see who comes and who doesn't. I do like the comment here from McFact. He says, this is going to sound popular. What about Benamy or Leftwich at the head coach position? So they both have Super Bowls, and if it's Leftwich, he could tutor Williams.
Where is Eric? I mean, because Eric Bieniemy is back in college, but where's Leftwich at?
I don't know where Byron Leftwich is right now. I know, like you said,
Eric Bieniemy is out west.
He's in UCLA.
Yeah,
or at least he was.
Yeah, he's there.
Let's see. I don't know if Leftwich is doing anything at the moment.
No. Yeah.
I think the last thing he did was 22? Yeah, 22 with the offensive coordinator for the Bucks.
Yeah.
So I think he's just sitting at home waiting for a phone call.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't bring him in as a head coach though. Not because he's been sitting home for a while. I do like Eric Bieniemy. I wanted Eric Bieniemy before I wanted Matt Eberflus, but I wouldn't mind Eric Bieniemy. But like I said, the internal hiring from within. I mean, this may be a good thing to keep Brown, but unless Brown said I'll stay on as the OC this year, and we bring in a a coach that he can jive with, so he's cool with. I think we'll be good with that if he's interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how he wanted to handle it. I mean, hypothetically speaking, if Brown would take the head coach position, because I'm sure they might offer it to him or at least bring him in. Would he stay on as offensive play caller, or would he bring in another guy to take over the OC position and just be a head coach, not worry about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and that's remain to be seen. So, and like I say, he might don't want to be. I'm not gonna say he doesn't want to because he interviewed for a head coaching job last year. So I know head coach is probably where he wants to be, and he deserves it. And if the Bears offer it to him, I'm quite sure he's gonna take it. But I'm quite sure he has his guys too, and some of them might not be in Chicago.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, who knows? We'll have to wait and see at this point. Honestly, I think they need to start putting it together now. I would be fine with even if they said, Hightower, your interim head coach at this point, and he does have that small amount of experience at the Shrine Bowl last year, so he doesn't need to do much. Just sit there with the headset, let your guys do their thing.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it, and just put together a nice, conclave, so to speak, to make your decisions, and there you go when you finish out the year, because you more than likely aren't making the playoffs this year. Right now, the chance of that happening
it depends on how we run. These next 3 games are going to be very telling. If you mess around and win these 3 games, you got a good shot of making the wild card.
And that's true. You do have an extra wild card slot this year.
Yeah.
So there's
3 games that'll put you at 7 and what? 7 and
6. Yeah, 7 and 6.
Yeah. So that's wild card material.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta at least win 7 games this year. Period.
Yeah.
Because anything less would be a failure.
Exactly, especially since we won 7 last year. So
yeah, it kind of already is a failure to an extent. But
Yeah, but one thing I like too with our draft picks as well, I'm really glad we still have that second round / first round draft pick from the Carolina Panthers, because the Panthers' schedule is going to look pretty tough too. So if they don't win another game, they're going to be battling the Jaguars or whoever for whoever else, and the Jets, for the first pick in the draft. So, but we still get that second round draft pick from the Panthers for this year.
yeah, I mean, because really the problem is the AFC. You got 4 teams with 2 wins. I don't know what where the Panthers are. The Panthers actually are 3-7 right now.
Yeah.
So I forget where they're sitting in terms of.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably number 4 or 5, maybe.
Let's see. Yeah, so Carolina would actually be 8th right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it goes Jacksonville, Tennessee, Cleveland, Vegas, New York Giants, New England Patriots, New York Jets, then Carolina.
Wow.
So.
Well, either way, we'll still have a good pick. It's another pick for us, for the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, it's another pick in the second round. You can't
Yeah.
sniff at that no matter where it is.
Yeah.
That could be a lot of things. That could be a back end of the first round pick, depending on where it is. If you want to move it up,
Exactly.
there's a guy you really, really want, and you're worried within the next 8 picks or the next round they're gone. Let's just say everything stays the same.
Yeah.
You make a move.
We'll see what happens, though. I mean, I'm really hoping that Carolina doesn't win another game.
Well, they got the Chiefs next week, right?
Yep, that's a loss. Chiefs are pissed off.
Yeah, so they're done in that game. Might as well just not even show up.
Yeah.
Because even if they do score, the referees are going to take the game away from them somehow.
But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. So we'll see. So I mean, getting to this upcoming game, do you have any score predictions yet?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait till probably middle of the week till we get that that real good injury report before I can say anything.
Okay.
It's possible. I think the Bears is probably good for like 23 points this week. And as long as the defense does its job and can hold up, we should be okay. And there is always a chance for a win, like you said.
Yeah.
You can always pull that out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go and pick mine early. Well, I'm just to get it out the way. I think Bears 23, Detroit. I mean Bears 23, Minnesota's 20.
It could be a close game. I'm hoping it's close. I'm hoping it's a competitive game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be 23-20 Chicago. What does everybody else say in the chat? We got people chiming in about the coaches. I see somebody say Gruden did nothing after getting to the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's roster. Yeah. So definitely not looking at Gruden. Belichick might want to chime back in and say hello. I'm back, fellas. He might want to do that, but.
What's interesting is you said that because something popped up on my phone from Bleacher Report saying Belichick's linked to the Cowboys now.
I could see that too.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want Belichick on the team because he's never really been a fan of Caleb right now. He's always been very harsh on the kid so far throughout the entire season. Now that could change that he's actually the coach, but. Yeah, I don't know if he fits the current state of the NFL anymore. And I think
I think it's kind of passed him by a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that will probably be the same with somebody like Tony Dungy. I mean, not Tony Dungy. Somebody like John Gruden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get what people are saying. They want a proven commodity at the head coach position. They're kind of tired of the experiments, but that's kind of how you find these good head coaches, by experimenting. And there's a lot of guys out there that want Ben Johnson. Is Ben Johnson ever been a head coach? No, but he's a hot young offensive mind.
He's going to be a head coach on somebody's team next year. You can best believe it. And Detroit knows it. Detroit knows that. Look, once this season's over, the guy he's gone. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't take that Washington job last year because I know he was lined up for it, and then the last second, just like no, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I know, there was talks all season. You wanted to go to the Bears, or the Bears were top of his list, or something along those lines.
well, that could be another thing. Chicago may bring him in, and if they have an agreement where uh, okay, Brown, you can still be the offensive coordinator now, but let me add a few little twists and things to what I used to run, and then it's all yours.
Hmm. Yeah, because he'll probably, if it was Ben Johnson, he'd try to bring in as much of his staff as possible.
Of course, of course.
Guys that know his way of thinking.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you never know. Ooh,
yeah.
but
But Flores is going to be blitzing. That's what MC Fact said, and he is absolutely correct. And the thing about it, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Flores is going to be blitzing. So if Flores blitz, make him pay for blitzing. Stop him from blitzing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw that kind of game plan this week. It's those very quick throws to get the ball out of your hand before the guy can even get you.
Yeah,
And they were spot on. DJ Moore had that really good spin move on that one
oh
screen
yeah,
play. He
yeah,
got
yeah,
5-6 yards out of the deal. So I think even if he does blitz, I'm confident in Brown's ability to counter that blitz
yeah.
more so
I
than I
believe so.
am, Shane Waldron. Well, Waldron's not here anymore, but
Yeah,
given the
I'm
two,
with you on that, Walt.
yeah. So, I mean, the question I'm still going to ask all this week is, why is Eberflus still here? I can't get over it at this
Inquiring
point, man.
minds want to know.
I can't leave the situation alone anymore, man. I just have to say, because like, I'm out of carrots and I'm out of sticks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
just what it is.
some of these carrots are they have E. coli now, so
And I have to ask the question, after last night, like, where is Ryan Poles? Because I don't think he said anything today. I don't know if he's doing
yeah.
any interviews.
I think Ryan Poles is behind the scenes cooking. I think they already drafting up some stuff to get rid of Flukes, man.
No, what are you waiting for?
No lo so.
Yeah, you waiting up for the end of the season? I mean, were you going to lose another game?
Yeah, right.
Because it's the age-old attitude where it's like the Bears don't have anyone to replace them. They said the same thing about Shane Waldron. Look what happened. Thomas Brown came in, and the offense increased their yardage output by twice, by doubling the yardage output from the week before.
Thomas Brown looked like a genius this week, running the offense versus Shane Waldron. But
Yeah, I mean,
Thomas Brown also spoke like a head coach when he was interviewed and at the initial press conference about when he found out that he was being the offensive coordinator.
mm-hmm.
So
it was interesting too during that the first couple press conferences they did, where even they went to Caleb and he said, we haven't really talked all that much. So it was just strange that he's your offensive pass game coordinator and you don't talk to him. I don't know if that's something that is prevalent throughout the league, or is it just the style that Waldron had set up, or
yeah, well, that's all right. I mean, Brown is talking to Caleb every day. He's probably talking to him right now.
Good, I hope so. I hope they're watching this right now and be like, yeah, we got to get on the same page. We got to get ready. We're going to be in Detroit soon. Like Don Burr says, Detroit versus everybody.
Yeah, I guess.
What's up, Don Burr, man? Saw you guys win yesterday. Good game for Detroit and, Coach Campbell.
That was a beatdown, man. Yeah, that was a beatdown. So anybody got any final score predictions of the Bears versus Minnesota game before we log off? Any score predictions? Like I said Chicago 23, Minnesota 0. That would be nice. Minnesota 20. Chicago wins a nail biter, but we pull it out.
Yeah. So, I'll give these guys a couple minutes here. So, how's your new channel going, Terry?
Well, I mean, it's not really a channel. It's a media group. So the Sports First Media, it's I cover a lot of the events. I'm started covering more of UCF football, basketball, women's and men's. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of the Florida State home games, football. Seasons get ready to wrap up though, and I'm an ACC guy, so I cover a lot of ACC events. But I'm also going to be covering a lot more of the UFL this year. I covered UFL last year, and actually, I think I showed you that picture of Tom Brady and I were actually in the booth. And so I'm going to be doing some more UFL games this year and covering the Senior Bowl and some of these other sporting events. So I'll be all over, man. I'm actually working up a few little options to do some more international stuff too. So I got some stuff cooking, Walt.
Very nice. We'll be with you every step of the way. So
Yes, indeed. I appreciate you, man.
yeah, man. So it's Sports First Media, right?
Yeah, Sports First Media. And it's been gaining a lot of traction. I think when I posted that interview I did with Deion Sanders, that kind of kicked it off. When I reposted that, and that kind of kicked it off. So
we do have some predictions now. We have Don Burr, Minnesota 48, Bears 3. I just had to post that one. That's a good one, man. Plank says 27-20 Bears.
Yeah, I like that. That's what I was initially going to go with. I was going to go with 27-20 Bears, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably the closest we're going to see. It's probably going to be somewhere in that range,
Yeah.
Now we got 17 Bears, 20 Minnesota for West here. Oh, yeah. I mean, it could actually go that way. It really could.
Yeah, it could.
It really could. I would expect more than 17 points, honestly, but you never know.
Yeah, we're at home, so we should be good to go. The weather wasn't bad this past game for Chicago. It was kind of a pretty decent game or decent weather for the Chicago game. Yeah.
You just had that weird sun, We're in that time period out here where it's 2:00 in the afternoon and the sun's hanging in the sky. So it is what it is. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be like for this coming week just yet. Let me see if it's up here.
It should have a 10-day forecast up.
Yeah, no, I'm still on Connecticut time.
Let's see.
Yeah, so it's looking 26 low, 44 high, partially cloudy on Sunday.
Jeez, really? Talking about a change in weather.
Yeah, we're supposed to, I think today and tomorrow 60 degrees, and then we're going to drop it in the 40s for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 47 degrees with no rain though. So
yeah. So get ready for that Midwest cold. Here it comes.
Yep, I am in Florida for a reason.
Yeah, so you're lucky. It's nice. You get that. It rains every now and again, but
yeah. But I mean, right now it was this week. I think today it was like 80, 84, 85 degrees. Wasn't bad though.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I couldn't do it. I kind of like this weather all year round, personally.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I can't do the cold, man. Not no more.
Oh man, but we've been going just about an hour. We're getting near game time. It's gonna be
yeah.
On paper, it should be a good game, but I mean the Cowboys suck. So
yeah, I mean that's gonna be another team that we talked about that's gonna have a high draft pick. So
yeah, I mean it's really gonna depend on. So I was trying to do some early mocks because unfortunately a lot of the guys I want aren't actually in the simulators yet.
Yeah,
because their schools are a little too small, so they're not really ready to go. There's a couple guards, a couple centers I was looking at out of Western Michigan and
Texas has some big guys, man. Texas have a nice line. Yeah.
If you get a chance, you got to watch Western Michigan guard Addison West.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's let up one pressure all season while playing right guard.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
Is
he a senior this year?
He is, yes.
Oh, so we'll see him in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. I think he's he's either a senior or he's a redshirt senior. I think it's his fifth year. So
yeah, we'll see him. Also,
Jacob Gardner out of Colorado State. He's their center. He was in Nevada for 3 years.
Wow.
And he was a left tackle there. He didn't do all that great, but then he jumped in the transfer portal, went to Colorado State, converted him to a center, and he's making the line calls now for Colorado State. And they're a top line in the country right now.
Of course, yeah.
So those are two big guys, and we're not going to need to probably spend a second round pick on either one of them. So they're probably small enough to fly under the radar. They're not your Tate Radledge, your Dylan Fairchild, the guys out of Bama and all that. So
yeah,
works for us. But definitely worth a chance if you can get some film on them, watch them.
Okay.
They're pretty good. Trying to think who else is watching right now. I'm watching the Penn State edge rusher. I mean, I think Sutton is the other guy. He kind of fell off. I know he came back last week or this week.
Yeah.
So there's that. Definitely want to see Carter in a Bears uniform. I think he's got the chance to be the next Micah Parsons. Like, he's got that same build. He's got the quickness and the long acceleration.
Yeah.
So
Fact asked, have any of us played football? Just wondering. So for me, I played in high school, but then I quickly converted over to I was a basketball guy. Basketball has been my sport. I played overseas. I grew up overseas, and I played there as well. So basketball has been mainly my sport, but I am a football guy. I was a cornerback. That's why my nickname is Prime, because that's my number in basketball and football is 21. So what about you, Walt?
man, I always wanted to do it, but never got the chance.
Okay.
Stayed more for the combat sports, honestly.
Yeah, but I played football, but basketball was my thing, man. Yeah.
But Kanye West, McFack, Plank, even Don Burrow, is great having you guys out tonight. I know Will was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. Samuel got caught in traffic, so you have to wait for a couple of days to hear their thoughts on things. But we do appreciate everyone showing up, and if you're just watching, we appreciate you too. Can't call you out by name. So, guys, if there's anything else, I think we're going to call it a night. Let you guys go, get some Monday Night Football action in. And we'll be back sometime this week, probably around Wednesday, Thursday, in that range. I promised you guys a video. I will get it out to you this week. Unfortunately, like I said, I was under the weather and hiding under a blanket for most of last week, so didn't really want to record anything.
We're glad that we have you back, Walt. And make sure everybody hit that like button, subscribe, share, everything, man. We need that. We definitely need that. And we're going to be doing a couple giveaways, too, like this Monster of the Gridiron shirt right here. We got the orange and we got the blue one, too. So we're going to be doing some giveaways, too. I hope y'all like it. You see it? That Monster of the Gridiron. Shout out to Walt for the design.
Yeah, man. It's going to be good. All I can say is just bear down and we'll make it through the week.
All right. Hey, man, it was a pleasure, Walt.
It was, man. I'm glad I could talk to you this week. I missed it last week, like I said, and it's always a good conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool.
All right, so, and then I'm actually gonna try to bring on a guest.
Okay.
We're gonna try to see if we can either bring on Roshan or his dad, because I'm good friends with both of them. So we'll try to see if we can bring on Roshan Johnson to jump on with us too.
Very cool, man. Keep me posted, and we'll get everything set up.
All right, sounds good.
But guys,
bear down.
Go ahead, have fun, bear down.
All right.